So, why did I come here?
Yeah.
Well, there are many answers to that, and there are many places also. So the first encounter with, I don't know where to look. So, the first encounter with Tenerife was last summer. I will tell the whole story because maybe it's interesting how the life turned out to be. So I was doing a master's in anthropology in the Netherlands, and I don't like the Netherlands and I want to go somewhere warm. So my initial plan was that I wanted to do my master thesis in Costa Rica. And last summer I was planning to go to Costa Rica, and just before going, everything went to shit and I couldn't go. So 2 days before coming to Tenerife, I was looking at where can I go that it's also sunny and I can just spend a month or something by myself. And I was like, Tenerife, Canary Islands, this sounds really good. I wanted to go before when I lived in Spain, but it didn't happen, so I was like, fuck yeah. And I booked this flight, and then 2 days after I just arrived here, and I was traveling for a little bit over a month. I went all around the island, and then my last destination was Hostel Los Amigos, of course. The place where everything starts, where everything begins. It's the beginning of the end. It's the circle that holds us all together. It is the place. Yeah, so I came there completely by accident with this guy I met. We went on a road trip. I didn't have a place to stay. I wanted to go somewhere else. He was like, trust me, there's this good hostel. He brought me here. The next day he left, and I stayed for 3 weeks.
Nice.
I was like, this is it. I'm not moving. So then the first day, actually, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the beach. And then I saw on the map natural pools, and I was like, oh, let's go check it out. So I arrived, and what do I see? I see caves. And I'm like, interesting. So later, I met Sophia, lovely Sophia. And together we met some people from the caves. We chilled with them. We met at the coffee shop, of course. But in the summer, this was in August, so there's much less people. The main cave was empty, for example. We were just chilling inside. And yeah, a lot of the people from the hostel knew some people in the caves, so you know. And I went back to the Netherlands, and I was suffering in the cold Netherlands, and all I could think about was Tenerife and sunny days. And I was still thinking to go to Costa Rica, but it was really hard because I've never been there. It's a different continent. I don't know anything. So if I would go there all alone, it's a little bit hard. And I was thinking, okay, Tenerife, I loved it. I had the best time ever. I know some people. I know where to go. I know what I can do. So why don't I try to make my studying fun and try to make it something that I actually am curious about and something that I want to know more about because I want to pursue it in my life. And because I was so fascinated with the caves, and in La Gomera we stayed in caves, and in La Caleta also I slept. So yeah, I just felt this connection and it was nice, and I wanted to come back. So I proposed this topic in my university. I was like, listen, I was in Tenerife, there are these caves, there are these people, Western people, they're living in caves with no money, like they're hippies, like spirituality, all these things. And they were like, wow, this is amazing, anthropology. So yeah, they fucking approved it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is fucking insane. I'm just gonna go live my best hippie life, and I'm gonna like do my fucking research. And I love it. I came here. The first week was tough because I was really sick. But then as soon as I arrived here, everything was fine. Everything is fucking good. I've met everyone I needed to meet. I've gotten everything I needed to get, and I'm happy. 2 years I was living in the Netherlands for my degree. Before that, I was living in Spain. I was doing au pair. And before that I was living in Greece for 3 years, and before that I was living in the US. So yeah, let's see. This is a completely new experience, and I love it. I don't know what else.
It sounds like an amazing journey.
My philosophy of life is that, so okay, what bothers me what bothered me before. Going to the Netherlands was the first time that I really lived in a Western country. Like before that, Greece, south of Spain, it's different. Indiana in the US with the rednecks, it's different. And I realized I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Fuck capitalism and fuck all of that shit and fuck the work structure that they have and all the rules, and I cannot stand it. And I hate it, and all I wanted was something different. And when I arrived to Tenerife, I found something different. And I found it in the Netherlands too, in a different way. But for example, my first week in the cave, I was walking. So when I was in the Netherlands, one of my roommates has a friend, and he knows one guy who was gonna come here to the caves. And I texted with him, but we never met. And we never talked again. We only talked once. And I arrived here, and the second day I walk along and I see him. From my town in the Netherlands,
That's
from
crazy.
Nijmegen. Like, what the fuck? So everything comes to you, everything you need. And this is exactly what I wanted, because I was tired of the life in the Netherlands where everything is planned, everything is prepared, everything is super structured. You have no freedom whatsoever, and I was just depressed in my bed all day, and you cannot go outside because it's fucking cold. And here it's just summer all year long. So I'm appreciating the slow life, I'm embracing it, I'm understanding deeper connections with nature, and living in nature is changing me. And I have never slept better. This is the life.
What would you say your most enjoyable moments of the cave life is? In fact, both of them, both pros and cons of the cave life that you found living here.
So like...
And also, sorry, have you lived in a cave before?
No.
Okay, so this is your first experience.
This is my first experience,
so
yeah.
what did you find, and how did you find it?
So the thing that I like the most is that there is absolutely zero planning. It's like you wake up in the morning, whenever, however, you can just do whatever you want. Like some mornings I like to just wake up, go swim, exercise, do things, go to the cafe. Some mornings I like to just stay in my bed, to read, to write, to do other things, you know? It's like you have complete freedom over your time. And the moment that you decide to do something, everything happens. Because it's like a village, and everybody is a family together. Everybody is friends, everybody knows each other. You recognize each other on the street. Even if you don't know each other, you talk, you meet very easily. So you have no idea what your day is gonna become. Like today she just walked in, you know, in the cave, we were just chilling, and now we're just spending time here. And every day it's different. Every day is spent with other people. And I just really like that there is people from all around the world that are absolutely so different. Like there is no one stereotypical view of the people that live in the caves, because it's just so diverse. And it adds to it. It adds to it because everyone learns from each other and everyone grows with each other. And you can see how many things are exchanged. You know, it's like everybody has some skills and they're always willing to exchange it with you. Like they're gonna show you how to play an instrument, they're gonna show you how to play with a stick or a ball or whatever, and they're gonna give it to you to try it out. They want you to learn with them, they want you to grow with them, and it's a really nice feeling. Instead of like they push you.
So we had a little battery malfunction, but we are plugged
all good in the neighborhood.
We are filming from a cave after all. Here we are filming in a cave, so yeah, we rely on power banks. So pros and cons. So you're saying about the community.
Yeah. So this is something that I really like about it, is that, and also the sharing, you know. It's like after living in a very individualistic country where, you know, you go, somebody invites you over for dinner and then they send you a payment request of the bill of the supermarket. Like for me this is insane. And here it's like a lot of people here have nothing or almost nothing because they don't need it and they don't want it, and they're happy to share everything they have with you. Because they understand and they know the situation, and they're always gonna help you and talk with you and share. You can always sit with them You can like, it's just beautiful, and you don't have to talk a lot. Like, I talk a lot, but here I don't think that I talk so much. And all my friends, like always, everybody's just talking. But here it's, and for me, always silence was a little bit hard. Like it was always awkward. But here I'm appreciating the silence, and I'm learning how to really feel good with it and how to connect with people in silence. It's like you can just sit around the fire and just, it's amazing. Or you can just play instruments together, play with toys together. Like it's amazing. Connections are created different. So this is something that I want to focus on in my research also. It's about the social relationships between people here, and creating of the community, accepting of the community. Communication, first of all, is so different, and connections, how they're created, and just the way that they are is very different. It's like, it's not the real world. It really isn't, because as soon as you go out, you're like, you walk the street and you're in the real world, it's different. But the beautiful thing is that with the people here, you're able to maintain this energy even outside of this place. And nothing changes, because this is just how they are, and they transform this to you. And with that, you're able to also open yourself more, and open more doors, and everything flows inside of you. And wow, I've experienced really intense things and intense connections with this place and with the nature and animals and the people. Yeah.
So what would you say the cons are, the downside of living in
so the biggest one,
the biggest
one is definitely the rats.
The rats.
The rats. Absolutely. This is absolutely the worst one. It's like they're so fucking big. There's one here, it's like this big. But it's alright. You have to accept the fact that you live in the nature, and this is a shared space. So you are not superior to anyone, and you have to learn to live in harmony together. And they're not gonna hurt you. Like, I have my cave clean. I don't have food here. I have food in another place, so they don't come here. But of course they're here, and I accept it. I hear them. I'm like, okay, they're here. I'm also here. I'm calm. Everything is fine. During the day we have lizards. This is nice. Lizards are nice. Another con, well, of course, the hygiene part. You know, this is also quite a big one. But now, after 2 months, it doesn't even matter anymore. At first, I remember the first week that I didn't wash my hair, I was losing it. I was like, I have to do it. I cannot stand it anymore. I was trying to find a shower so bad, because in other places you have showers nearby, but here we don't have it. You have to walk a lot. And yeah, but you learn with it. And the sea, really, it's so much more healing than you think. Just the seawater and just swimming all day and being with the rocks and putting aloe vera that you cut just, and just from a park in the middle of nowhere, and putting papaya on your skin. And there is a lot of natural things that you can use in order to maintain healthy. Yeah, but these are the pros. And
Nice.
honestly, there's not so much more. Also, well, another con is like your things, right? But you have to accept that it's just material things in the end. So you have some things always, everybody has things that are important to them. So you just decide what are the things that are important to you, and what are the things that help you and you need in all of these moments. So I have a backpack with all of my things that I need and that I would not like to lose because they're important to me. Everything else is here, but I hope it stays.
Nice.
Because I have like a lot of books that I want my books to be.
So we've got to know you a lot better now.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you specifically about the caves and the cave life in general. In general, the cave people, and the main cave.
The cavemen.
The cavemen and cave gals. And also,
do we have a joint? No, I'm gonna roll one.
no, there you go. There's some there. Also, I want to ask you about what's your knowledge on the legalities of things, and if
So obviously this is not legal.
Okay.
Obviously, but so if you walk around, you can see that some caves they have doors or locks. So apparently, if you have a door and lock, the police can't do anything. It's like you can call it your house. People come here, you know. It's like, in a way, I think that they allow it because it is a shelter for people after all, and it's been used as a shelter for people for so many years. And the Los Guanches were the first people in Tenerife, you know. They were like of African descent, and they lived in caves, you know, and they were very primal, and they wore clothes from sheep clothing, and they were talking to each other with horns, you know, and they were killing animals and all of this and living in caves and fishing, like, and then the Spanish conquistadors came and, well, we all know what happened there. No need to talk further, but yeah, regardless, it's, you know, it's in the energy of the island, you know. This is what it was always used for, and it's the perfect shelter, you know, because it gives you the perfect temperature all year round. It shelters you from the wind, from the rain, from everything, and more or less you are not really in that big of a view of people, you know. It's better to be here than on the street, because essentially a lot of people that live in the caves are homeless, you know. In the homeless in the way that the society sees it. But now that I'm here, I completely understand that this is not homelessness at all, you know. It's like completely something different, because the cave is your home and you're absolutely not homeless. It's just a different type of home. And you know, there's so many different types of houses. People live in various places around the world, so why can't this also be your house? It is there for this purpose. What else are you gonna use it for? Like, and something that I find interesting about the island is that the caves are used differently in different places, you know. So I went hiking in Los Gigantes, and there are a lot of caves, and so here people make it their home, you know. So you live here for a long time. There, the places are shelters. So if you are stranded in the mountain during the night, you can sleep there, and the place has everything you need. It has a bed, it has something to cover, it has something for the fire, it has some water, like, you know, it's prepared. So it offers you shelter, it helps you in a way. And it's really beautiful to see that, the different variations. And you also have caves in the mountains, it's not just by the seas. Different legalities also. So in La Caleta there are many barrancos, and when some of them they kick them out, so they move to another one. And you know, now at the beach the cleaners come every morning, because some years, I think last year or 2 years ago, I think last year, they made it a national park. So it was no longer prohibited to live there, because now the cleaners come, and you know, it's for tourists and all of this. So now these caves are also used differently, because they're not used as people's houses, homes. I'm not gonna call it house, a home, but also as a shelter in a way. It's like you spend your day on the beach, you have your own community, and then you go up there, you sleep, in the morning you leave. It's also a different use. And also in the other barrancos, it's a different use. And you also see the interconnections with different communities, because a lot of people, they're nomads, you know. All of their life they're traveling, they're moving, so they cannot stay in one place for a long time. So they go in between, they go all around the island, so they all know each other. Wherever I go, I meet people that know people that I know people, and you know, everything is connected. So this is also something that's really cool about the island. It's really easy to meet people, because everyone just knows each other, and the alternative, let's call it the alternative scene of the island. It is big, but it's not so big because everyone moves around, because everyone is nomads. And yeah, maybe Los Abrigos is your base, but a lot of times you go to other communities because you have friends there and you do different things.
Okay, nice. So there's going to be lots of different people watching who this lifestyle is going to be completely alien to them. So how do you eat when you live in the caves?
So as I told you already, there is a very diverse group of people living here, so therefore very diverse diets and very diverse ways of cooking. There are people that go out in restaurants, that go drink alcohol, that they go out to eat. There are people that buy things and you can prepare it on the fire or in a gas stove. There are people that are like vegans, fruitarians, so they mostly eat fruit and vegetables, and they go on nearby like plantations to get it, or and a lot. Basically, the majority is from the trash. So what is really nice about this place is also the harmony and the balance with the locals and with the island, because the whole theory behind living in a cave is being out of the system, but undoubtedly you cannot be out of the system because you are a citizen, you have documents, you are eating from the system. Whatever, all of these people, whatever they're eating, it's from the system. Whatever they're wearing, it's from the system. They go, in the city, if they play music, they go to play in the touristy places, So, but I think that in a way this is a way to live out of the system, because you use the system in the right way. You don't abuse it, you don't corrupt it, you use it for yourself. And it's like you don't abuse it. You don't overconsume, you just take what you get and everything comes to you. Once you start living this life, what I didn't understand before, so I was on other islands and I met some hippie people that were living similar lifestyles, whatever, without money, all of that. And they always told me that they never had problems with finding food, that everything always comes to them. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, how does it just come to you? And then I arrived here and I was like, oh, fuck. It really just comes to you. Like, all you have to do is think about it. Sometimes you don't even think. It just like, what? You're just passing back home and then you see a bag full of bread and you're like, oh, dinner. We have bread.
And obviously you just mentioned it. You answered my next question in the last question, but I'll ask it. Clothing. How do people clothe themselves?
Yeah, a lot of people. It's different. Again, it's very different. A lot of people look, I'm not gonna call it normal, but they look more like they live in the society. There's a lot of them that they try to look good when they go out or something like that, but they're also like the dirty hippies that just wear whatever they find. And but a lot of people also dress very fashionably. The girls usually wear dresses and very nice. A lot of jewelry. Everybody has a lot of jewelry, necklaces, earrings, tattoos, piercings, long hair, dreadlocks, obviously. Yeah.
So I'm going to move nicely.
And I have a mullet.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to a segment which I didn't actually talk to you about, but I've discussed with you off camera, and that's the nudist side of things, because that was a shock for me in terms of not having nudist beaches, because I'm from Brighton, so we have nudist beaches, but it's the fact of communities that live, cook, chat, naked, and that's it. So from your perspective,
I love it.
Yeah, please share.
I love it. It's like, I love it. I've done this before. I went on different islands and everybody was just naked, and I was also like, whoa, this is really interesting. Like, it's really nice to see that it's not sexualized, because I don't feel sexualized. I can be in the main cave with a lot of men around me and I don't feel sexualized, because it's just normal, as in a way that, okay, this is your body, and there is nothing that I hide from you because we all have a body, right? And it makes me feel free to be naked, and I like to be naked, and I like to swim naked. It's the best thing ever is to swim naked, and it's just accepted, and it shows the openness, you know. It shows the difference from being in the real world where you could never do this because it would always be either ridiculed or sexualized, or like it would be weird, you know. At home I would like change in front of my friends, and then they would all freak out. I'm like, chill out, I'm just changing, like it's fine, you know. And yeah, here you have this liberty to achieve that and to push and to just be whoever you want. Because what's really nice when you go to the main cave and you just sit down and watch, it's like everybody's just doing their own thing. Like whatever, they just come there, they sit, they play with their toys, they draw, they write, they play music, they are in their own world. Like everybody's just doing their own thing, and it's really nice to see this way that you have no pressure to do what others want to do, that you can always just focus on whatever is in your head. And it's like when you talk to them, you see it, you're like talking to them, you're doing something, and they're like, okay, now I want to go do this, and they do, and they're like, now I want to. It's like, it's nice. You get to know yourself better, and to know what you want and how to do it.
Okay. And to close, how if someone wanted to live the cave life, you know, become a cave girl or caveman or cave woman, whatever, what would you say to them? You know, they're at home, you know, they're sat watching this video in their bedroom, you know, just Netflix and
chilling,
wasting
and
money in England,
exactly,
and they're watching this and they're thinking, how are they doing this? How is this possible? Like, what?
I would say everybody can fucking do it. It's like every single person can fucking do this, because it's just a matter of habit, and it's just a matter of slowing down and appreciating. And once you understand that, you can absolutely do it, because you know it can be scary. It's like you're living outside, anybody can just come, and you know, what about the animals, what about this, what about the cold, I don't know. It's like people have a lot of preoccupations about it, but it's really, it isn't. It's
not so.
It's like I feel really safe here because it's a village. It's the island itself is very safe, and the other people in the caves, like nobody has bad intentions. Everybody is here for similar reasons and just sharing time together. So it makes you feel safe, and it's good, and you learn how to live with nature. Maybe it's rocky at the start. For me, the first week was the best week. It was awesome. I was just learning every day, everything. And then I got my period, and I was like, shit. And then they called me to volunteer at the hospital. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna go. But then I slept there in total 3 nights. And the whole time I kept coming here because I just sleep better here. It's nice. So be fucking brave and let go of everything you know. And just come here with new doors to open, and you're gonna fall in love with your life.
Nice.
And yeah, you're gonna fall in love with your life.
Well, I've tried to cover everything. Do you think I've done a reasonable job?
It's impossible.
It's impossible to cover everything. Well, I say everything, but most things.
Yeah.
The main bits for someone that doesn't know anything, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
You definitely got
Is there anything you'd like to add?
It's like the happiest I've ever felt. It's just wow. If you're suffering in a capitalistic world where you don't agree with how the things are, and you're trying to make a change, and you don't want to just work and have a lot of money and buy things and, you know, have this kind of life, like, this is something you have to try, because you can see the extreme. You don't have to go this way completely, but you can at least see the extreme and understand it, and you can then create your own world. Because I think this is what's beautiful. Everybody comes here, shares something, and after that each one creates their own world, and you take in so much, and it helps you to broaden your horizons. It helps you to understand what are your choices of life instead of a typical life that you always hear about. Like, there's so many other choices, and if you like to travel, like, wow, you're not gonna believe it. Like, you can travel the world for free. It's insane. You can literally just do it. And yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ellie, for sharing. I finally got your interview. I've been asking you and nagging you, and yeah, so it's good to get your thoughts on camera.
Yeah, it now was a good moment.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cultiva tus raíces en la tierra.